All right, guys, I'm setting up the giveaway rod right now. So this is just a real basic bait caster. It's a good entry-level bait caster. Remember, this giveaway for this rod is supposed to be for somebody who maybe has never used a bait caster before. I'm hoping for maybe a younger angler and I can teach them how to use one. So this is a pretty basic setup. It's a Black Max bait caster, okay? It's an entry-level bait caster, but I tell you what, I've used them and I've caught tons of fish on them, and I'm actually gonna go try to catch a fish on this setup right now. And we also have an Abu Garcia rod. It's a brand new rod. The rod was actually gifted to me. I received quite a few rods from somebody and I greatly appreciate it, and they're all gonna go to awesome use. Most of them will be used by me and my son, but this one, it's a good rod. I wanna give it away to somebody. So we've got a Black Max reel, a brand new Abu Garcia baitcaster rod. I'm setting it up right now. I'm putting some brand new line on it. We're just gonna do some 8-pound tests, some mono, and I'm gonna go try to catch a fish on this giveaway rod. And if I can get a fish on it, I'll announce the winner. I'm hooked up. I'm hooked up with the little one. Did it.
Hey, what the hell is that?
It's a little bass. Not a giant. Fighting the fish. It's a little one. It's kind of got a weird mouth on him. That was first one, yeah. Right here. All right, so I want to talk about some of the advantages to using a bait caster right now. In most situations, I prefer a bait caster. We were just talking about, what do we feel are some of the advantages of the bait caster? One thing is a stealthy entry. So if I'm hitting a dock or I'm hitting shore and I need to slow that down and make a real stealthy entry so I don't spook the fish, that's really important. You don't know how many times I'll fish with people and they're using spinning rods and they just can't figure out why they're not getting bit. And they're casting and those lures are just splooshing in there, and they're spooking the fish, right? And so with a bait caster, you can slow that down real easy for a real stealthy entry. That's one thing I like. Another thing is gear ratio. If you ever thrown a buzz bait or something like that and you're just cranking super fast, and certain lures that you need to reel a lot quicker, right? And you can get bait casters with different gear ratios where you don't really have that option with a spinning rod. Another thing, it's kind of hard to explain until you actually use one for a while, but it just feels like there's a lot more backbone, a lot more power behind the bait casters, and you just have a lot more control. Like when I use a jig, and that's one of my favorite ways to fish, is like a flipping jig. I mean, it just feels so difficult. It feels so weird using a spinning rod, and the bait caster, you just feel like you have such more control of that lure and of that hook set. Bait casters are a little challenging to use at first, but once you use them and you get good at them, you're gonna love it. I mean, you're never gonna want to go back. So, all right, that's why we use a bait caster. All right, so we just finished shore fishing on Beaver Dam Lake, and yeah, I caught that one little tiny bass. But whatever, the main purpose of this video is to give away a bait caster. So the fishing is just kind of secondary. We're heading out to a little pike spot that my friend Brian showed me. And when the last time we went there, he had a pretty big pike on, and we missed a couple pike, and I don't know, we don't have a lot of time to fish, but we're gonna take a few casts, see if we can catch a pike. Let's do it. Yeah, Leo's hooked up. What is it, a pike? Little pike. Little one. On the rattle trap.
On the rattle trap.
That's been the hot bait here. All right. Cut the video. Man, you guys, I can't even believe this. So I'm just trying to hit a couple shore fishing spots real quick today, and then, man, just a couple spots, catch maybe a couple fish, do my giveaway for the rod, for the baitcaster rod, and show a couple rod things, right? And so the clip you just saw, Leo catches this little tiny pike, and he's taking the hook off the pike, taking the pike off the hook or whatever, and pike shakes. I can't believe it. the pike shakes, and now Leo's got a freaking rattle trap stuck in his hand. And I try to pull the hook out. I can't get it out. The barb's like really deep. You know, I take Leo to my mom, who's a nurse. She tries to get it out. She can't get it out. And so we are at the Beaver Dam emergency room, having them take it out. Oh, man. I don't know what it is, you guys. Like, this is the second time now, you know, in like a 2-week time period where we end up messed up because of a pike. I don't know. Anyways, it's crazy how it worked out. It's not really that deep. I feel like I could just like pull it out real hard and I'd get the hook out. Here's a picture of it right here. So there's the picture of it. Leo does not want to be on camera right now with this, so he didn't want me to film any of it. This is not the end of the video. This can't be the end. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try to do a little bit of shore fishing, a little bit more fishing by myself, see if I can catch a couple more fish for the video, talk a little bit more about the baitcaster tutorials and stuff like that, and then I'm giving away a baitcaster. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so the fishing didn't go as planned, right? But that's okay. I am still super pumped to give away our first baitcaster rod on the channel. So this is, once again, it's a Black Max baitcaster reel. It's an entry-level reel, but it's a great reel for beginners, and I use them all the time. It's a great reel. Never have any issues with it. And then this is a Abu Garcia brand new Vengeance baitcaster rod, and it's a real good setup for someone starting off with a baitcaster. And this is a rod that I've personally used many times, and I love it. So we're gonna give away the baitcaster in just a second, but I wanna go over just some real basics on the baitcaster. The first thing is this right here, the star. That's our drag. So if we turn it towards us, right, we bring it towards us, that allows line to pull out freely, okay? And if we turn it away from us, that tightens the drag. So there's our drag, okay? Now, probably the most important thing for setting this up is we have the brakes here, and then we have the magnetic brakes, or what I would say like fine tuning over here. So normally what I do is I start with that fine tuning all the way cranked down to 0. Okay, so I'll crank that down to 0. And what I want to do is it's hard to see probably in the camera here, but I'm going to click this down here and I'm going to let my bait fall. My bait's over there falling. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Here it is. Okay, and what I want to do is I just want that bait to fall nice and gradually down. So if I crank this all the way this direction away from me, it'll tighten it, okay? So it'll tighten the brakes, and it could tighten the brakes so much that the bait doesn't fall at all. And if the bait doesn't fall at all, then it's gonna be really hard to cast it. Now, if I make it really loose, and I'll say that the better you get at using the baitcaster is really the looser this drag can be, or I'm sorry, this brake can be, and then also the magnetic brake can be, and that's when you're skipping docks and things like that with the baitcaster. But when you're first learning it, you just want to have just a nice gradual fall, okay? So what I'm doing right now is I'm adjusting that. Okay, I got it, right? I'm using a little heavier bait on here to begin, so if you're a brand new person using a baitcaster, you might want to use a jig or something like that. That's just, or spinner bait or something that's a little bit heavier, because it's a little easier to throw a heavier bait. Kind of just like a spinning reel, right? So to learn, it's a little easier with a heavier bait. Now, I think I'm correct on this, but I don't want to hear a bunch of negative comments if I'm wrong, but I think this first break really helps at the beginning of the cast, so right when you throw it. And I think the second one, which I kind of use for fine tuning right there, I think that helps at the end, okay? And so I can use that to fine tune it, and voila, yes, there we go. Man, I want to go fishing so bad today, you guys. It just feels so good, just throwing a rod, man. I can't wait to get it back out. I'm going back out fishing tomorrow. We're gonna go and catch some giant fish. I'm going out with one of my subscribers. But first things first, I want to give away the baitcaster. Now, if you didn't win the baitcaster, don't get upset, because we still have a tackle box giveaway with my 10 favorite lures. And on top of that, when we hit 500 subscribers, which is coming up like really soon, I'm gonna do another giveaway, all right? So we've got a couple giveaways. You can comment on this video right now if you wanna still stay in the giveaway for the tackle box, okay? So keep your comments coming. I wanna let you guys know that I read every single comment. I love you guys so much. I really appreciated all those comments. It was amazing. So thank you guys so much. Jacob from Fox Lake. He goes to Waupun High School. Buddy, I don't remember your screen name on YouTube, but I remember you saying your name was Jacob. You live in Fox Lake, you go to Waupun High School, you're a senior. You won this baitcaster. I want to get together with you, show you how to use it so you can take a couple casts. I'm around this weekend if you want to reach out to me. If not, anytime next week. Congratulations, buddy. All right, we'll catch you guys next time on Fighting the Fish.